This is John, and I'm on the beat with AEW's newest wrestling star and on the rise, Shawna Reed. How are you?
I'm good. I wouldn't call me an AEW superstar yet. We're still on that.
Well, I like to get ahead of the curve. Yeah, you're on the way. So,
There we go.
and we're definitely going to talk about that. But I want to get into a little bit about your career first, if you don't mind. I know
Uh-huh.
you were I know you were trained by Cody Hawk. So when did you start training? Like how old were you, or like how long ago was it?
I started training in 2015.
Okay.
So I was about, I think, maybe 27 now. So what was that? Like, maybe I was like around like 19, 20, maybe 18. I don't know. I'm not good at math. Um,
Neither
but
have
so I started training then, yeah, in Franklin, Ohio when he had his school there. Then we moved to Hamilton, Ohio, and we've pretty much stayed there since.
And when did you realize you wanted to start training and to become a wrestler?
Um, when I was a kid, my brother and I would fight over who would play the PS2. So my mom would designate us like hours, like when we were allowed to do it. And if you wanted to play the PS2, you had to play what the other one wanted to play. So my brother like started playing wrestling, like WWE, and then he would quiz me on the people that came on the screen in between matches. So that's where I really started getting into it and realizing, oh, this is actually a thing. And then watching like Raw and SmackDown, I was like, oh my gosh, like I got so into it. And so I would say it was probably a little bit, probably when I was about 8 years old, when I was like, okay, it's my little dream. But then you get away from it for a little bit, and when I actually got back into it was probably when I moved out of my house and I turned it on, and like I was like, oh my gosh, I refound my love for it. So it was good.
So when you started training, I know a little bit about the training. You got to take a lot of bumps, you got to take a lot of hits, you got to run the ropes. Was there any point when you thought to yourself, "Geez, I really don't know if I can do this"?
After the first 2 days, yeah, like after the first 2 days, I had to literally, I hate to say this, but I literally had to force myself to go to training each week because I was like, no, it'll pass. If it doesn't pass, at least you got through the program and you tried. And then, I ended up getting hurt and like kind of popping my shoulder out of place. So I was out for a few weeks after that. And but I still went every single day and took notes. And I can tell you this, that like getting hurt and being forced to be on the sidelines is probably the thing that kept me going in this business, because being forced to have to watch your friends and your classmates learn and do what you want to do, and you have to sit on the sidelines, freaking sucks. But it also like inspires you, and when you get in there, you're like, I'm gonna do that like 10 times harder. And then I'm a very visual person, so like um when I was before I got hurt, they're like, hey, do a drop toe hold, and I'm like, do a what? And yeah, and like they would show you once and then expected you to do it. But being forced to be on the sidelines, I had to watch like everybody go through it like 20 times. Like, so, and I like drew pictures in my little notebook and everything of like how you would put your legs. And so yeah, I would say that kept me going in it. So it was a curse and a blessing, I guess.
Now, do you remember obviously you remember your first match, but like, do you remember all the details, or was it kind of just a blur?
My first match,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I remember everything about it because it was freaking terrifying. Um,
yeah.
I was less than 2 months in, and Cody texted me one night and said, what are you doing tomorrow? And I was like, nothing. And he goes, do you want to wrestle? And I texted him back, like, you mean like on the show in front
What?
of people? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, no, because I'm like less than 2 months in on this. And I did not trust myself. And to go up there and, like, I'm going to be a representation of his name. That was the last thing I wanted to do. I didn't know. I mean, I knew the basics, like somewhat, But then Cody was like, if you don't trust yourself, trust me. And I'm like, okay, screw you. So at night, 11 o'clock at night, me and my buddy Hooks ended up going to JCPenney, finding some sort of like tights and a sports bra. Ended up going out to Chillicothe, Ohio. And the show actually ended up being Bobby Fulton's show. And so there was like almost 1,000 people there. And Road Warrior Animal was on the show.
Nice.
And I was like, what? And I wrestled Zoe Sky. And thank God for that woman. She is amazing. She is so talented. And she took this green girl and like made magic, like with what I knew. So, and I was very thankful I had Cody ringside too. So I had my coach there too. And he could like tell me, hey, like look up or sell this or so. I mean, it was terrifying, but it was actually a lot better than I thought it was ever going to be. So being forced to go into it, being thrown into it was kind of a good thing too, I guess.
And you've wrestled a ton. I did a little research on you. It was a little old research or a little old data, but like you wrestled like over 100 matches a year.
Yeah, I'm actually with COVID. COVID really like screwed over my match count. I was supposed to hit like 500 last year, but
Wow.
I am now on 473. So we're
like you keep a record of it, like a notebook or something.
Lame.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Now, I know you won a couple of titles. Yeah, off the top of my head, my notes, I forgot to write which titles they were. But you're last I heard, you're still a reigning champ with one of them.
I'm a champ at 2 places at the moment. One of them shut. I guess I don't know if I could count it anymore. Blue Water Championship Wrestling. That unfortunately was shut down once the promoter had his mother got really sick.
Oh,
sorry, there's my dogs.
hey, all good.
And then oh my gosh, buddy. And then I was Battle of the Border champion, and I actually have a rematch for my belt this Friday. And I'm for PBW up in Toledo. I'm their current champion.
So how cool is that to actually, I mean, you're fairly young, you're fairly new in the business, and you've got a couple of titles to your credit. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's been a very awesome 5.5 years.
And it's getting better, which brings us to AEW. So you went, and your first match was against Britt Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Like that had to be, with no offense to anybody on the roster, anybody that's on the roster is a quality wrestler. There's no question about that. But for you to go in there in your first match and you go up against Britt Baker, that had to be like surreal and nerve-wracking and cool and everything.
Yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking. I mean, I've been on the show with Britt when we actually both started. We've been in the business about the same amount of time. Like when she was a few months in, we were both on a Juggalo show for Girl Fight, and so I met her a year ago. And but I was just in general terrified to be on a bigger stage. I've done like extras work with WWE, but I never actually had like match televised. And I knew I had a little bit of a heads up on who I was going to be playing both days. So to know the history between both Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa and the matches that they've had, I was like, well, crap. Like, I'm already terrified. Oh, God, here we go.
Well, I mean, you really, you can hardly get 2 better people to wrestle at this point. I mean, to me, it's fantastic. Like, to start off on that level.
Yeah.
They must have a lot of confidence in you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You accounted for yourself very well. You did, excellent matches.
Thank you.
Did like family, friends, everybody calling you, texting you, going, "Hey, I see you"?
I had a lot of them, yeah. So my parents were going crazy about it too. So yeah.
Well, actually, that brings up a good question. Your parents, now they're probably okay, but were they cool with it when you first said, "Hey, I want to be a wrestler"?
God, no. Oh, God. know, like when I told my mom that I wanted to be a wrestler like a long time ago, it was more like not in this household. So I had to wait till I got out of the house to actually, contact anybody to do wrestling. And it took about a year to a year and a half for my mom to actually come watch me. And then it took about 2 years for my dad to finally come watch me, which actually really surprised me because me and my dad, was our bonding, was wrestling as I was growing up. But when he finally came to a match, it was everything. But ever since then, they've been the most supportive people in the world. My mom actually travels with me sometimes to
Nice.
shows, and it's awesome. So
Now, without revealing secrets unless you want to, um, is there any plans in the future with AEW?
I mean, hopefully, like AEW is very much, like if you've ever done WWE extras work, it's more like you get the email and you go. So that's what I'm pretty much, hoping and praying for is the email. And in the meantime, just, continuing to perfect my craft and work hard and make them want to book me.
Well, like I said, you had excellent matches. There's no reason why they wouldn't book you. You definitely will be back. Who knows when? Because the wrestling business is kind of goofy sometimes. But
Yeah.
you had two great matches, and really that's got to count for something.
Yeah.
So before I let you go, you're also going to be making an appearance, and I'll actually be there too, at the Squared Circle Expo.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're wrestling. Then I know you're going to have a table there signing autographs, meeting your fans, but you're also going to be wrestling on Saturday night.
Yes.
Any idea who you're wrestling?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I've heard of a potential mixed gender tag, but I'm not gonna say against who yet, because it hasn't been released. But that's just a potential, so I don't know. Whoever it is, either if it is that mixed gender tag or if it's a singles or whatever match it is, it'll be fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Cody is going to be there too, so there could be a potential. I'm reading a lot of things into this. There could be a potential. That could be a mixed tag going there. Now, is there anybody? The lineup is stacked there. There's going to be a lot of a lot of big name women wrestlers. Tay Conti, Britt Baker. There's not going to be any problems with you guys, right? Like you're not going to duke it out in the middle of the thing.
No, we'll just have to stay away from each other.
But is there anybody there that you really want to see? And I know. Wait, let me rephrase that. I know there's a lot of people you want to see. Is there anybody in particular you want to see?
I mean, I'm gonna, of course, the first day I get there, I'm gonna go see my other trainer, Dustin Rhodes. So it'll be about a month since I've seen him. In the first time in since January. So it'll be like a little reunion kind of, I guess. So I'm gonna go see him immediately. And then I've been on the shows with some of the other people that are there. So, if I definitely run into them, I will only be there on Saturday because I am a maid of honor on one of my best friend's weddings on Friday. So I've got those, responsibilities.
Of course, life sometimes does that.
Yes. So I will be there, but I will be there all day on Saturday.
Well, that's good to know because we can get the word out that if people want to meet you, they got to go on Saturday. Don't go on Friday expecting to meet the little, and I forgot the little psycho.
Well, I've actually changed it up a little bit because I did hear of a girl in around the West Coast that apparently has been doing the Pretty Little Psycho gimmick, and she's been in the business longer than me. So respectfully, I'm gonna let her continue that moniker. So me and Dustin Rhodes and Cody Hawk have all come up with Daughter of a Thousand Maniacs. So I'm trying to get that kind of going and seeing where that if it catches along.
Sounds good to me. Why not? Hey.
I'm a Freddy Krueger fan, and his movie is called Son of 100 Maniacs. So I'm like, boom, Daughter of 1,000 Maniacs. Here we go.
That's perfect, man. It's actually got a good catch to it. I like that. You get T-shirts and all that stuff made up. It'll be cool.
Ryan.
Well, listen, I really, really, really appreciate your time. Again, I'm totally serious. Your matches in AEW were really, really solid.
Thank you.
I think you got a bright future there, and
Thanks.
we'll certainly be watching. We encourage everybody to watch. We encourage everyone to come out to Squared Circle Expo May 4th or May 15th. The expo is 14 and 15, but Shawna is only going to be there on the 15th, which is Saturday. She'll be meeting fans. She'll be wrestling. It's your chance to see her in action. So before I let you go, any place the fans can find you online?
Yeah, a few places. You can find me on Facebook at just Shawna Reed. I'm working on getting another like page going. Had to redo all that with the new name kind of thing. And then my Twitter handle is Shawna Reed 93. My Instagram is Shawna_Reed. And if you I like to goof around, so I have a TikTok. So TikTok is, Shawna Reed Wrestler, all one word. So yeah, you can find me anywhere around there.
Sounds perfect. Shawna, I really appreciate your time. I will see you May 15th. Until then, good luck. Hopefully we'll see you sooner on AEW, but if not, we'll see you sometime on there. You're gonna be back. Trust me on that one.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you at the Squared Circle Expo.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks, Shawna.
Bye.